Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. Welcome to the next video on supply risk assessment in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. My name is Saurabh Bharati. I am a Microsoft Dynamics 365 professional, and on this YouTube channel, I offer my knowledge and expertise to all of you. Okay, so without further delay, let's begin the today's topic. So today we are going to talk about one of the interesting feature which we have in Microsoft Dynamics and which can help the procurement department in making actionable decisions using the new feature which we have, which is supply risk assessment feature. So how this feature helps us and how it is going to help the procurement department in the real time, right? So let's understand this. So for this first, so supply risk assessment from Microsoft Dynamics 365 lets you identify supply risk so that you can act to help prevent supply chain disruptions, and it helps your supply chain managers to understand the risk of encountering sourcing shortages, delays in your deliveries, and it enables business to take the proactive actions on balance cost and resilience when they optimize their supply chain. So basically, if we summarize this, so this capability is to measure the supply delivery performance of suppliers products along with different dimensions which we have. This derives a risk assessment for the future planned supply. Now, one of the things which we need to understand that what it does not provide. So it does not provide the holistic assessment of vendors along with the other aspects such as financial ratings, compliances, securities, and other risks. And it also does not cover the risk from other type of supplies, which is like, let's say, production supplies. So now let's understand that how this is going to work in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So this was released and it is available in the version 10.0.31 or the later versions 32, 33 or 34 if you have that version. The next thing which we need to do is that we need to enable the feature in the feature management workspace which we have. And the next thing which we need to do is to configure the different thresholds parameters which are available for us to provide the data about the risk supply risk assessments. And we are going to talk about that what are those threshold and the key parameters are. The next thing which we need to do and make sure that we configure is the workspace data refresh setup. And the last thing which we need to do is the entity store refresh to view the Power BI reports. Once we complete all these things and once we perform the transactions in Microsoft Dynamics 365, it is going to give us different workspaces which are actionable where we can make a quick decisions based on the data which is available in the system, and also the different Power BI reports which helps us in risk and the performance analysis of our suppliers and the products and the upcoming deliveries. Now let's understand the key terminologies which derives the different dashboards and the actionable workspaces for this particular feature. So there are different key parameters which we need to configure, and based on these parameters only system generates all these risk analysis and the actionable dashboards. So one of the thing which we have in the system is the terminology is the requested delivery date acceptance rate. So here we need to enter the percentage in the system where we expect that vendors to return the confirmed delivery date, which is CDD, that meets your requested delivery date RDD. So for example, that I created a purchase order and I requested that my delivery date for this particular order should be 10th of June. Now we also expect suppliers to confirm that they are going to provide, or they will be able to deliver this particular product or this particular order on the requested delivery date. So they are going to provide the confirmed delivery date. Now if they are not providing the confirmed delivery date, or if it is not meeting the criteria, right, so then it will be considered as the exception. So for how many orders let's say if we have 100 orders and we expect that supplier should provide the confirmed delivery date for at least 90% of the orders or 95% of the orders, right? So that percentage we are going to enter in this particular field. So this will ensure that we are going to have the timely delivery or the confirmation acceptance from our suppliers. The next thing which we have is in full delivery rate, which is also called as IF. Here we enter the minimum percentage of the deliveries that are expected to arrive in full. So if I have raised 100 orders in for the suppliers, and I expect that 90% of the orders should be delivered fully. There should not be any under delivery for those orders, right? So that percentage, as per my organization policy or as per my expectation, right, we should enter that percentage for the in full delivery rate. That what is the minimum expectation for the full for the complete delivery for the order. Okay. The next terminology which we have is the on-time delivery rate, right? So here we enter the minimum percentage of delivery that are expected to arrive on time. So if supplier has promised that they are going to deliver the order on 10th of June, and there are, let's say, 100 orders which are, I'm assuming a hypothetical situation, which are supposed to be delivered on 10th of June. So what is the minimum percentage we are expecting for this on-time delivery? Out of 100, if 90 orders should be delivered on 10th of June, and then we consider that yes, this is not a risk for us and this supplier is meeting our expectation, then we need to enter 90% there. And let's say if supplier does not deliver 90 orders on 10th of June and it just delivers 80 or 70, so then system is going to use this data to flag in our workspace or the Power BI reports which we are going to have for this parameter in the system. The next parameter which we have is on time in full delivery rate, which is the combination of previous two, where we are expecting that, okay, supplier is delivering on time, but is he delivering the full complete order, or is it the under delivered order, right? So what is the minimum percentage which we expect the supplier is going to deliver on time as well as the complete order, right? There should not be any sort order, the under delivery of that particular order. So that is called as OTIF. So we need to remember these terminologies. So first thing is the CDD based on the requested delivery rate, which is RDD, IF in full delivery rate, OT on time delivery rate, and then we have OTIF, which is a combination of IF and the OT. Okay, and these are based on these parameters only. System is going to derive our dashboards and the workspaces and the Power BI reports which we have in the system. Okay, so now what key configurations we need to do? So as I shown you in the first slide itself, so first thing is we need to configure our parameters. So what is the percentage of our CDD, IF, OTIF, right? So all these parameters percentage we need to configure in the system. Then we need to set up the workspace data, which is going to utilize the transactions based on these parameters and how frequently those workspaces should be refreshed, right? So that we need to configure. And the next thing is that it is also going to use the Power BI, the embedded Power BI dashboards which we have in the system. So for that we need to make sure that we have the entity store refresh on a periodic basis, or we refresh them when we are executing these transactions, right? And as I explained you, like what this gives you as a capabilities and what it doesn't provide you as of now. Okay, so without further delay, let's jump into the system and see that how we can configure and then make it work in the system. So now we are going to first set up all the thresholds which we have discussed. So for that, what we are going to do is that we are going to navigate to procurement and sourcing, and under the procurement and sourcing we have the setup, and here we have supply risk assessment parameters to be specified. So let's click on this. Now here we have all those four key parameters which we have discussed. So we need to define the requested delivery date acceptance criteria, in full delivery rate, IF, OT, and OTIF, all these things. Just for the simplification of our demo scenario, what I have done is that I have put the 100%. That means I am expecting my supplier to perform everything on time, full deliveries, and the confirmation should be on time for all the orders which I raised to my suppliers. Okay, so for that reason I have just put 100%, but in a real time this is not going to be 100%. This is definitely going to be 90 or 95% based on the organization or the procurement department policy for their supplier risk assessment criteria. Once we do this, we are going to initialize our workspace for this, and we can see that we have the supply risk assessment workspace here available. Now I'm going to click on this. Now this has different dashboards or the tiles which we are having here. But when you enable this feature, since I have enabled, I have worked on this, so this is available for me. But how frequently this data should be refreshed, right? And how it should be refreshed, right? So if and initially if you don't have the data, so you need to initialize this and you need to set up the refresh policies or the configuration for all these workspace tiles which we have on our screen. So how do we do that, right? Now for that, what we need to do is that we need to navigate to system admin, and under system admin we have the setup, and then we have the data cache here available. And now here what we are going to do is the data set cache configuration. We are going to click here. And now here we need to make sure that we have the consumer available, like vendor supply risk cache data set in available here. Now here we are going to enable this. Okay, so this should be enabled. How frequently it is going to be refreshed, so we are going to enter the number of seconds here. Now I can also have an option that I can do the manual refresh of my data, or I can do the based on the number of seconds which I define here. So if I, let's say, disable this manual refresh and I save this, and if I go to my another tab on dynamics, and let's see like how it reflects on our supply risk assessment workspace. So what I'm going to do is that if I click on the workspace now, you see that the refresh data is disabled for me. Now I cannot refresh my data manually. But if I go here again and if I enable this and if I save this, now this is going to help me in refreshing the data manually on my workspace. So let's see like if it allows me to refresh manually or not. So if you see, now it is allowing me to refresh manually. I can hit the refresh data here. Okay, so this is the second configuration which we need to do to work with the supply risk assessment or utilize the reports and the dashboard for this. The last thing which we need to do is that we need to make sure that our Power BI embedded dashboards are working fine and the entity store is up to date and it is refreshing based on the frequency which we define. So where do you define this? So we go to system admin, and under the setup you are going to have the entity store option here available. Now on this entity store you have different entity stores for different modules and different Power BI dashboards which are available in Microsoft Dynamics. I have written the detailed blog on this on my website. Go and check that out, that how you can enable the out of the box Power BI reports, how you can modify and how you can utilize this in your day-to-day activities. Okay, So we need to make sure that these entity stores are getting refreshed on a timely basis so that we can get the up-to-date data on our dashboards. So now we have done our configuration, and let's see that how it reflects based on the transactions which we enter into the system. So since this is a demo data, we will have a lot of orders which are delayed, and maybe it might be confusing for us to understand those transactions. So for that purpose, what I have done is that I have created two suppliers just for this demo purpose. So if I go to all the vendors, I can see those two suppliers here. So the name is that I have created is ABC Limited and XYZ Limited, and I have created one product for this demo purpose. And if I go to my release products here, so this is going to give me the list of products. So I have created one product which is DC001. Okay, now using these two information, what I have done is that I have created a couple of purchase orders, and those orders are having different status, and those orders are having the different delivery dates, confirmed delivery dates, and etc. So now if I come here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to apply a filter on the suppliers which I have created, and I can see that I have four different orders, right? And there are three different orders which are open, one has been received, and there are two different suppliers, two orders for this supplier, two for this. So if I go inside, I have used the same product which I have just now showed you. So if I go inside, so I have this TC001 100 quantities for the site warehouse. Similarly, I have other orders with the different quantities and the different prices, right? And now this also have the different dates and delivery dates specified on the order. So let's see that how this data is reflecting, just to make you understand that if you have late deliveries or partial deliveries, right, how it is reflecting on our supply risk assessment, how this data is being understood by the system. So now if we see this, this is our supply risk assessment workspace. It has three different tabs: the overview, performance, and the risk. The overview tabs gives us the high level analysis of our supply data which is available in the system, right? So using this, we can just quickly analyze that how many orders are there which are not on time, which are not in full, right? How many orders are single sourced, right? So all these details are available here. Confirmed as requested, goal is 100%. It is showing our parameter which we have configured, so it is 100%. All the orders are confirmed. The goal for the on-time delivery is 100%, but we have on an, I mean, as a holistically, right? If we analyze all our current order, it is 79.95. Similarly, for full deliveries, it is 80.94%, but our goal is to 100%. So similarly, all the KPIs which we have assigned, right, based on the system is giving us the quick insight. Now let's say, now if I refresh this, so I can get the quick data, and now I have the detail tab where I can see the products which are no, which are not OTIF, which means the on time and the full deliveries, right? So how do I see this? So I have all these different products available here. If I want, I can filter the product which I have created, and let's see if that product is reflecting here. So if I just filter that, so I have this product. So if I see this is this particular product combined together all the four orders, it has 390 quantities order, and out of which only 50 quantities are delivered, right? Similarly, if I want to see the vendor analysis on OTIF parameter, right? So I can just see that I have this T001, which is ABC Limited, and this is XYZ Limited, which is 390. If you remember the 390 quantities of that product which we are having, out of it, 0 is delivered here, and those 50s are delivered by my XYZ Limited company. So similarly, all these different ties from different vendors are available here. Now let's say if I want to create a new purchase order, I can just create for this, and I can see that how it is going to reflect on my dashboard. Is it going to create, is it going to increase my number of orders or the quantities and other things? Okay. So I'll just select the same vendor. Let's say I select my ABC Limited, right? And I can click OK. I'm keeping the delivery date as today's date. Now I'm going to enter the product number which I have, and let's say I'm going to enter 40 quantities here, right? I will save this and confirm this order. Now this should increase the count in the quantities, undelivered quantities, and the vendor insights which we have on our workspaces. So let's see how it is going to reflect. So now I'm going to move to the another tab which I am having here. So if you see right now, I have 390 quantities. Now I have added 40 more quantities, so it should reflect here. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to refresh this data, and if you see, it has increased the quantity for this. Similarly, if I go and see my product, it has now 430 quantities, out of which 50s are delivered. So similarly, if I go and post the product receipt, it is going to increase my delivered quantities as well in the system. Okay, hope it is clear. The first tab which we have, which is the overview tab. Now next tab which we have is, so this first tab was our actionable workspace, where if you want, we can even go in the detail of these, what are those 81 orders which we have which are not on time, right? We can go to the details of these things and take the further actions. Now what potential actions you can take? You can look for alternative vendors, sourcing, the different locations, right? So all these things you can look for. So this is the list of my orders which are delayed, right, and which are not on time. Okay, so these are the things which we have here. So if I have different options where I can have the purchase, where I can see the on hand and the transactions and other things, right? And I also have the different columns here which are like confirmed on time, yes or not, received in full or on time. So based on these parameters only, system is deriving those action level, the tiles and the dashboards which we have on our workspaces. Now on this workspace, I also have two different tabs available. One is the performance related, one is the risk related. Now on the performance related tab which I have here, it has again three different analysis which are available. So this is focused on the performance, so where we can have the supplier performance ranking, how the products are performing, right, and the OTIF analysis of the product and the suppliers. And now on the top here we have different filters available. So if I have, let's say, legal entity USMF I'm using, so I can just apply a filter on the USMF legal entity here. So I can select this, and this is going to reflect the data based on my the filtered things which we have. Now if you see here, it is about the supplier, so my XYZ supplier is reflecting here, right? And it is in the vendor ranking. It is not on the top. It doesn't show the risk here. It has like 90 quantities which I have ordered, right? And it has 50% it has been delivered, so which is falling under the criteria of IF, right? So that means it is on the full rate, right? It has delivered the completely what we have ordered, right? Similarly, if you would have ordered this partially, then it would have impacted this particular parameter again. Okay, similarly ABC, we don't have anything right now here, so it has been confirmed 100% the all the orders, so it is showing 100% confirmation, but rest of the parameters are blank here. Now similarly, if I want, I can just apply the product filter here and then see that how my all the dashboard, so it is clearly showing me that I have, for this product I have 4 different purchase orders, there are 4 different lines, total quantity is there. Now if you see here, it is showing 390, whereas in the overview it was saying 430. So what is the reason? Reason is very simple, that I have refreshed the overview tab or the workspace data manually, but this data is being refreshed by the entity store. So the next time when the entity store batch job will run, it is going to fetch those 40 quantities. So that is why it is very much required for us that we make sure there are entity store and this overview data refresh is up to date. Okay, so now confirmation rate is there, in full delivery is 25%, the goal is 100%. So all these informations or all these analysis are available here. Similarly, this is from the supplier perspective, the supplier ranking here. Now if I want, I can go to the next tab where we can see the product performance for this product. So I can see that 25% is the full delivery and then 100% this. So similar data is reflecting here. And similarly, I can do the OTIF analysis. What is the worst OTIF by the product or by the vendor or delivery method and on-site? So this is not falling under the worst OTIF. So what we can do is we can select all the product just to see that what are the different products and the suppliers falling under this. So we can see that this particular Surface Pro 128 has the worst OTIF, like which is listed here, right? And similarly by the vendor, right, we can see ACM's office supplies are falling with the 20%, 41%. So all these different KPIs are available for us to analyze the different data sets. Now similarly, this talks about the performance of the product and the supplier. Similarly, now we can go to the risk tab and understand that what are the risk system is identifying based on the parameters which we have defined in the system. So here again we can see that on the top, what insights you have are same, right? You have different planned purchase risk, sourcing risk, purchase versus planned risk, right? Planned supply flow. So there are different tabs are available, and this show you top 10 products by the planned quantity. How and for each product it is showing that OTIF risk high or what is the like OTIF risk low, right? So all these things in it is going to show you in terms of the amount which you have, right? Similarly, if you go to the sourcing risk analysis, here it is going to show you like vendors in planned orders, in purchase orders, like how it is performing, right? So everything is going to be reflected here, and now based on this data you can take certain decisions so that you can avoid these risks in the future or any shortage in the supplies, right? So all these things you can just do and then plan for your organization. So all these things are available. So these dashboards are out of the box. You need not to do anything in the system. It just you need to define the key parameters, right? And then you, based on those parameters, you can just view these dashboards and use for your decision making. Okay, so that's it for this blog. I hope this gives you idea about that how the risk supply risk assessment workspace, which is available now in the Dynamics 365, is going to help you. In my opinion, I think we should enable this because this does not have any impact on your transactions, right, on a day-to-day business. This is going to give you the additional insight. You can enable this, provide to your customer and seek their feedback and look like if this is going to help them in their business or the decision making for the purchases. So that's it for this blog. If you enjoy my content, so I request you to like, share, and subscribe so that you get the timely update about my content, and it also motivates me like if more people are viewing this. So that concludes today's video, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good day.